If you look at the various building blocks of nature, if you look at a rock, for example, a mineral, you'll say, well, it's alive. You know, at the quantum level, a rock looks just like you do. You take it and you break it down, and you got these atoms, and then you take it down further, and then you send it off to a lab, and it comes back, and it's got the same makeup that you do. But you know that the way it is manifested in the world of form that we experience it, it's very different. It just sits there. So we say it has no awareness. It has life, but it has no awareness. And then when you really look at it and discover it at the quantum level, you discover that rocks really do have awareness. And that just your observation of it affects it in a quantum way. And that if you leave a rock in the sun for a certain number of years, it'll fossilize or it'll turn into a diamond, and it will change, and it will have, but it has what we call limited awareness. I mean, a tree or a flower, it doesn't protect its young. I mean, you can go and cut down, you know, all the little branches or take away all the tomato plants and so on, and they don't scream and holler at you. But if you put a plant over here in the shade and then put sunlight over there, what will your plant do? It'll stretch for it, reaches for it, doesn't it? Do you know that they're discovering that if a gypsy moth invades a forest and hits one tree in the forest, that tree will emit what they call pheromones, which are chemicals that warn all of the other trees around it that there's gypsy moth here. And the trees will take on a protective nature to keep themselves. Around our form, we perfume it every day, we take care of our young, we do all of the things that you're supposed to do in order to survive, but in terms of higher and higher and higher and highest levels of awareness. Highest level of awareness, meaning being able to, with your mind, affect the world around you and manifest what you want for yourself and create harmony and so on within you. Most of us don't live that way because we doubt that we can do it. We're raised to believe that we are only at this level and we can have glimpses of up here. But we're still stuck in this old belief system that it just takes faith. We don't know that within us is that intelligence that suffuses off. When Deepak and I got together the first time, and we began to talk about this unified field, and we began to talk about what is possible in the world, and I was talking to him about, genuinely, authentically about miracles. We talked about if you wanted to have strawberry ice cream, what are the 4 ways, or what are the ways that you have available to get strawberry ice cream? Let me present that to you, our discussion. And you can imagine there was a representative from Nightingale Conant at the lunch, and she almost fell off from her chair, some of the things that we were talking about, that I've been experiencing since I wrote Real Magic. And Deepak was there and my wife was there, and we said, well, let's say you want strawberry ice cream. Let's just, for example, strawberry ice cream. How many ways are there to get strawberry ice cream? Say, well, from a metaphysical point of view, beyond the awareness level of animals, what are the 4 ways? What are the ways? So we decided there were 4 ways to get strawberry ice cream. We would talk about each one of these. The first way to get strawberry ice cream is to have a thought. The thought is, I'd like to have some strawberry ice cream. And then the intelligence that your mind is begins to create molecules in your body. And the chemicals that you think are just in your mind are also in every cell of your being. And you say, you start having a taste for strawberry ice cream, and then you go up and you walk away, and you get into your car, and you drive to Haagen-Dazs, and you say, I'll take some strawberry ice cream, and you come home and you say, there's my strawberry ice cream. And that's one way to get strawberry ice cream. That is, you have a thought, and then you create the action in the world based upon that thought. Right? So there's a connection somewhere between the thought, I'd like some strawberry ice cream, and the action of going out and getting it in one way. That's one way to get strawberry ice cream. That's not too unusual. Most of you know how to do it. Very few pigs can do that. No tomato plants that I know can do that. And I've never seen a rock do that or even contemplate. But you can do that, right? That's a level of consciousness that's powerful. When you think about it, it's pretty powerful. You see, the same intelligence that flows through every one of us is the same intelligence that flows through all the rest of us. It's not like there's a different God flowing through each one of us. It's just there's a oneness, there's a unity, and out of unity is diversity. Vibrations that we call So you have this incredible capacity to be able to think. And that thought, we know that there's one God, or one soul, or one spirit, or one consciousness that makes it all work. And we know that it flows through you and it flows through me. We don't think that there's 1,000 people here. We don't say that there's 1,000 gods in this room. We all believe that there's one. And it flows through every one of us and keeps that in mind. The second way to get strawberry ice cream is to have a thought. I'd like to have some strawberry ice cream. Thought. Puts into practice the molecules. And instead of you getting up and going to get it, you tell one of your children to do it for you. Which is really powerful. Now you don't have to do anything, you just say, go get me some strawberry ice cream. It's called slavery, right? And they say, yes, Daddy, or yes, Mommy, and off they go, and he's had the thought, and suddenly, strawberry ice cream shows up in your kitchen, and you've got it. So that's the second way to get strawberry ice cream. Those are two very common ways of making you think too much. Spectacular, even though those are really phenomenal things. Now the third area way of getting strawberry ice cream is a way that most of you will now get into the area called Booga Booga, right? Or where's he gone now? But it's almost time to go, so I can give you the really far out stuff. Right? And this is, you have a thought, gee, I'd really like to have some strawberry ice cream. And somebody walks by and says, excuse me, is this your strawberry ice cream? And you go, wow. And you call your sister, and you call your mother, and you call everybody you can get a hold of, and you say, you're not going to believe what happened today. I was just thinking about strawberry ice cream, and somebody walked by and said, isn't this your strawberry ice cream? It's called synchronicity. And this synchronicity is, there is a connection somehow between a thought and something that's happening in the physical world. It is somehow synchronized and in collaboration with something called maybe fate. But you can't put your finger on it, you can't see it. It's no more bizarre than those little remote control cars. That somebody presses a button over here and the car moves over there, even though you've come to accept that. But there is somehow an invisible connection there. Now, all of you have had the experience of thinking of someone or something and having that person then call you. coincidence, the weirdness too. But you see, there's a new book called Chaos, and in there, scientists are discovering that there's order in chaos.
That what we think of as chaos and coincidence, that when you study it at the subatomic level, it's all.
And then you'll be thinking to yourself, gee, I'd really like to get my screen doors repaired, but I don't know what I don't get. You'll be driving along the freeway, and there'll be a truck there right next to you with a panel on it that'll say, we will repair your screen doors. Wow. You get off the freeway, and they get off too. And then you go over there, and they're over there, and they say, our phone number is just the same as yours, except for one number. Something strange like that. And that person comes in and repairs your screen doors and buys you a lottery ticket, and you make $4 million. I don't know, any number of things that can happen there are all in this serendipitous category called
miracle. It's just too strange to believe. And the irony is that as you become more conscious, as you begin to trust in this inner intelligence that cannot be spelled in any particular way, that defies description, they say the Tao is
described as not the Tao. As you become more in tune with this part of yourself, these kinds of circumstances and events and things begin to show up more. And you get more and more powerful until you get to a point where you begin to know that anything that I can get into my imagination, I should hang there and have there and keep it. Including my ability to spend time on thought and at ease, including improving my wealth, including my health, healing myself so I thought was curable. And the fourth way to get strawberry ice cream is to have the thought, I'd really like to have some strawberry ice cream. And you manifest it. Just like you manifested everything else. You believe in yourself. You trust in the wisdom that created you.